Hey folks, welcome to my home and my work studio. It's Jimmy from Ventriloquist Sideshow, and I thought I would take this opportunity so you can see exactly where I build all of my puppets and my ventriloquist figures. I do build a variety of puppets. I don't only build ventriloquist figures, most of you are familiar with them, but I build every kind of puppet that is out there. And this is Cubert. He's a marionette that I've made out of paper mache. Most of my figures and my puppets these days are made out of paper mache. They're all created right here on these two tables. I have some natural light here on my second floor window, and this is just one little small corner of my New York City apartment, and this is where I do all my work. This is Ventriloquist Sideshow. The figure I'm currently working on is called Miss Edna. Miss Edna started out like all my other characters right here. Every one of my characters has been built on the same very glue-covered armature. This is plastiline clay. It never dries out. The clay is shaped, and then paper mache is put directly onto the plastiline clay. I do use a resist to keep the paper mache from sticking into the oil-based clay and absorbing any oils and contaminating the clay. Once I get several layers of paper mache on there, about 1/4 of an inch thick, I cut the paper mache in half and then remove the two halves. Of course, portions of the paper mache are reconnected along the neckline. Things are stitched and glued back together to create the shell. As you can see, this is Miss Edna here, and where she's been cut in half, this has been reconnected to create a solid neck and facial shape. This is the back of the head. This was originally cut down along the neck, but now it kind of sets into here, and it fits perfectly to create her head. This is the bucket of paper mache glue and red rosin paper I use. I use red rosin paper. It's a very strong paper. It's used for roofing, I believe. It's pretty readily available. And then I use a waterproof wood glue, and this is mixed up sometimes several weeks before a project. I like the paper to be very saturated with the glue, so it really sticks, and it also shapes a lot better. You don't want to have stiff paper. I also crumple the paper up a lot before I actually do soak it. That also allows the glue to absorb really well into the paper. Secret to any paper mache project is always no bubbles. You don't want bubbles between the layers. You want each layer to be adhered to the last. So generally when I do paper mache, between coats, I clean and scrape down all the project area, and then I apply just pure glue, a thin coat, and then I put the second or third or fourth or fifth coat of paper mache onto the project. Miss Edna is made up of about 40 to 50 paper mache parts. She's a very intricate character. Of course, you saw the head shell here and the back of the head here. I also have a whole array of parts here. These are all curlers. She's going to have curlers in her hair. I'll hold a couple up so you can kind of see. She's going to have her hair done up in curlers, so to speak. And this is her upper teeth. The teeth are carved out of hardwood. Whenever I do carve the teeth, I carve them out of hardwood. Any part that wood is required that is vulnerable, I carve out of hardwood. Hardwood is heavier, so I don't use it for, say, the rib cage or the body frame, but anything that's vulnerable, like a very gappy individual tooth, is carved out of oak generally. So this is her upper lip, mechanical part, and her upper lip will kind of move like this. And it'll fit into this section right here. And this is her bottom jaw. You can see she has a little bit of a tongue sculpted. The tongue again is sculpted out of the clay-like paper mache, the paper product. that I enhanced with glue. These are her eyes here. She has larger eyes than I typically use because I want her eyes to be very large and bulgy. She also has an all-around moving eye. It's a little bit more complicated, but it tends to make her look a little bit more realistic. Her eyelids are not going to close, but her eyes are going to be set at about this level, and then they'll open very large. I can set them into her head and show you kind of what they will look like. Again, I use the paper clay. It's not really paper clay, it's a powdered paper mache, and I fill in all these little gaps. 90% of what I have to do is remove a little 5% here and add a 3% there out of paper mache to get things to fit properly. I do tend to make my openings a little bit more gappier than some people would prefer, but again, this is paper mache, and it could be a humidity factor that could create a little bit of shifting in the parts, even though I seal the inside and the outside with an oil-based paint. But her eyes will be about like this, and then they'll open very surprised, and her eyes are going to roll around. She also has, I don't know if you can see it, she has one hyper-dilated eye, and one eye is very dilated, and one eye is not. Her eyes, of course, glow in the dark. All of my puppet's eyes glow in the dark, and she has threading here for veins. And then here in this bucket, this is her control stick. It's got a rubber grip material on the bottom, as do all of the levers are all brass, a heavy brass, but they're all gripped and padded out in a vinyl dip. This is a little extra piece that holds the stick into place. It's not just glued in, it's glued and screwed and double screwed. It's screwed in the back here, it's screwed in the back here. These are the hands. These are her hands. And my hands come in two sizes. I do the hands either very big or very small. Miss Edna is a female character, and I tend to do the smaller hand in the female characters. I did thicken the flesh up because she's supposed to be a very portly sized character. She's a plus size figure, so to speak. So this is her, where she's at right now, and in the next couple of weeks, or in the next few minutes, if you stay tuned, you'll see her finish off. And over here, I have Miss Edna's body. The body was constructed out of pine wood, which is a little bit lighter. Unlike most of my bodies, the body has been filled out. It's a little bit rounder. If you want to see details of anything you've missed, please check out my Facebook fan page. Just look up Ventriloquist Sideshow on Facebook. You can become a fan if you like. It would be lovely to have you chime in and speak up. But you can also see details of not just this project, but pretty much anything I've built over the past couple of years. Little details, and I explain how I build things. But the wooden rib cage here is actually convexed out, so it gives her a little bit of a rounded shape. She is padded, but the inside is a little bit rounder because her head is going to sit on here. And most of my characters have a longer neck that kind of goes in and out. She's going to be more of a rolling, rounded neck movement. And I'm going to need, or the ventriloquist who will own her eventually, will need that rounded, stirring pot kind of motion in there to make her head move. But you can kind of have an idea of what she will look like. Of course, she's about halfway finished at this point. You're joining us a little bit late in the construction process. But if you stay tuned, you'll see exactly how she turns out, and you'll see how she moves around when she's finished. All right? Thank you for joining us, or me, and Miss Edna here. And we'll see you soon.